We're awesome.
Just when you think you played every type of video game on the planet, well, you haven't. The Last Hero of Nostalgaia proves that innovation still very much exists and game developers can show us a world that has not been done yet. Imagine a very smart blender of some of the most iconic games you've probably heard about or played. Stuff like Dark Souls, stuff like Zelda, Harry Potter references, and all sorts. We play video games because we like storytelling, put our mind to the test, and we always want to be the hero. Well, that's exactly who you're going to be and what you're going to be doing in this one. You start out as a literal stick figure. You don't have a face, you don't have a gender, you're non-gender if you like that. You get to customize stuff, but at last the customization is done to no avail because it won't make a difference. Your hero right now has no memories, thus he is hollow. The world in which you start has lost all of its memories, including yourself. It's up to you and other heroes like yourself, friendly NPCs that you find along the way, to bring memories back to a world that is losing them. This, like I said, it really stands out because it's never been done before. Sure, the fighting seems familiar and you've played games that have weapons, I guess. But it's done in such a way that it has not been staged like this in video game history. Storytelling is unique. Never seen stuff like this before or told like this before in video games. The world is memoryless. I guess you could call it unkindled. The aesthetics of this kind of gives you hints everywhere because it's all in 2D 8-bit graphics. As you travel along the way, activating checkpoints or bonfires, whatever you like to call them, when you activate one of them, everything around you becomes familiar. The world remembers and becomes once again fully textured in 3D. Even though, let's say you've never played a video game and Hero of Nostalgaia is the first one you've ever put your hands on, the player you immediately understands from the visuals in front of your eyes that the world is coming alive whenever you activate a checkpoint. The armor and weapons that you gear up along the way get exactly the same aesthetics. First, it's 2D, and then they get a brand new makeover. Once you recover their memory, it becomes fully 3D. This is kind of awesome, and it gives you incentive to do the little puzzle side quests that each piece of armor has. You feel a sense of accomplishment when you are wielding or fighting with a weapon or an armor that has its story fully told, that it remembered where it came from. It's not for nothing. No, nothing in this game is for nothing because when you get those memories back, you also get extra skills from remembering what made that weapon great in the first place. Fun fact, you don't know where those memories lie, but you do get hints. Just read the short story written on them and you would know where to find them. As you travel, you'll recognize those places. It's not that difficult and it kind of makes it fun. The world that you start in, somewhere to its core, to its heart, has a well. Within that resides the memories, which are escaping, and the world is almost dead at this point. Defeating the major bosses in the game, bit by bit, will restore those memories back to its heart. I did mention storytelling, right? But yeah, it is actually that great because this is one of those games where I listen carefully to each and every line of dialogue. While there's not a lot and it will not get you bored, mostly because the voice acting is superb. And secondly, you will understand very well what's happening around you, what is with this world, and what you need to do.
This is an opportunity to dispatch me. Perhaps I misjudged you originally. I am, well, you may call me... My name has no meaning. Call me... Vengeance.
And it gets emotional pretty fast. You'll understand the struggles and understand that the people around you or the bad guys that are attacking you were not always bad. They were friendly. They just along the way become hollow and lost their memories. It's impressive how the writers, or wherever they got their inspiration from, were able to come up with just a handful of characters, each very meaningful and some which will actually help you along the way, even during boss fights, so it doesn't have to be that difficult. The folks around here, even if it's a werewolf or a guy with an axe, any enemy that you encounter along the way, they were not always bad. They're just aggro and they feel hostile to anything that comes into their environment because they don't remember who they are. They lost their essence. Once upon a time, before having their memories stolen, this was a lovely place, and the people were very generous and friendly to heroes. At least that's what you understand from listening to the dialogue. Anything from the NPC shopkeeper that you help to the blacksmith, a strange looking Humpy Dumpy pink, sort of sarcastic character, they all have depth and meaning. It's very, very well written, and the lines of dialogue don't waste time. You get yourself 60 seconds of cutscene, but it's important. What do you actually do in the game? Well, time to speak about the gameplay and the mechanics that lie behind it. What you will be doing for about, give or take, 15 to 20 hours. I've seen a YouTube video where a guy finished the game within 6 hours. No, he rushed it, and he definitely did not pay attention to the entire thing. I am not a completionist, and I don't care about getting every single piece of armor, etc. But I do like exploring the game, the map, everything. And it will take you roughly around 20 hours to finish it. The map, very, very cool. Instead of having that boring open world where you just have a gigantic map and you kind of just go around it, but you feel like you're not getting much from it, here it's all layered and intertwined. You can go down, up, traverse corridors, all of them linking to one another with shortcuts that you will be able to unlock, like an elevator or a hidden door that leads to the place you've been before. Everything being, in the end, connected with each other. You'll actually need these shortcuts as you progress through the gameplay because you kind of feel the need to go back and forth between places. I know that, there's a starting point, and then as you progress, the enemies get tougher, but you want to come back just so you can rediscover the memories and, like I said, unlock abilities to your gear. Furthermore, you'll find doors and treasure chests that cannot be opened at the beginning. You need to understand how to open them. That's why you gotta go back for where you came so you can get the goodies. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but pretty much everything can be opened and you get rewards from doing it. It's just a matter of time and learning how to. There's no such thing as repetition quests or something, boring task that you need to do. It's all connected, and before you know it, those 20 hours kind of fly by, the game is over and you feel like you just want more. Like a general action RPG or whatever, you get some classes, which is pretty cool, right? You get your usual, the rogue, the warrior, the tank, the wizard, you name it. But you can totally experience with them as those are just base stats. You can invest in whatever you like and build your own hybrid or your own type of play style. I was actually lucky, and I would like to thank my friend for this. We were able to play this entire venture together in co-op. Simply access the co-op menu, which you get from the start. Tell your friend the number, he's going to be able to put it in, and there you have it. You get summoned into his world, and you can do this vice versa, no issue. The entire game, the entire campaign can be played 100% with someone without having to disconnect, even at checkpoints. All can be done playing it with a friend. However, of course, only the host can open the doors or make decisions. There's also some decision making during NPC dialogue, which is pretty cool. I played as a mage, of course. Also had a little bit of tank role because I had a shield and whatnot. Kind of bit of like a paladin, while my friend was a warrior DPS. And it came handy because, wow, we were able to take down bosses and enemies in no time. I was able to attack from a distance using a little bit of magic. I was able to freeze enemies in place or just basically help my friend defeat them very easily. You get backstabs, pretty much all the mechanics that you see in any regular Dark Souls, but you don't have to worry about it. Like, I know the game has a staple on it. It says Souls-like combat, and some people might be a bit worried because they feel like these games are too hard. This is completely not the case. Don't worry about it. I really feel like it's a friendly type of combat. It's for new beginners. It's not that difficult. Even though it does belong to the genre for sure. As you progress along the way, sure, the enemies become a little bit more agile and they have more HP and whatnot. They are stronger, but it only makes sense because you also get a lot more stronger. So it's balanced. Last Hero has a pretty strong sense of humor all around, even within dialogues or the messages that you find written along the way. It's all very witty and sarcastic, and usually it has a meaning behind it. But it often felt like it was raising awareness. It gave me that woke vibe, whatever that is. But there's references absolutely everywhere, and if you're a smart guy, you're gonna want to play this game. There's one piece of dialogue between a certain female NPC where she's saying that one day we will be able to do what we want and not be in their game. The masters will no longer control us and we will have control of our own destiny and lives. I felt like that was a deep reference to the people that have jobs and grind for minimum wage or whatnot. The fact that we got to go to a job and earn our daily bread, those salaries, it made me feel like, we're in that world. There's also a moment that I felt was a bit raising awareness towards racism. One of the main NPCs was put in jail because she looked different, and she was rejected both by her master because she didn't felt right. There was something about her skin color or the way she looked, and she wanted you to fetch a piece of armor so she can put herself in that armor to hide her face. Once that happened, she was condemned that she was let out of jail, and her master was able to accept her. So you see, even though there's a lot of sarcasm and funny, witty stuff, the game often takes itself seriously, and there's hints of real drama, stuff that we can pick up from real life. At last, there's no such thing as a perfect video game. This is not a perfect video game. It's amazing what they were able to pull off, but from a execution point of view, from a technical matter, it has a couple of flaws. One particular bug that is an absolute game breaker. Yeah, this one. Randomly, you won't be able to equip a weapon, any weapon, in your main hand. You guessed it. You can no longer attack unless you're fighting people with just your bare hands, making combat almost, impossible. This is a known bug. It's actually been reported a couple of times, and it also happened to me. The developers are aware, and they have no fix currently the moment I'm making this video. If you too stumble across this bug, which I have no idea what's up with it, I don't think you're going to be able to progress anymore, which is kind of sad. There are a couple of workarounds, sure. If you co-op, your friend could do most of the killing for you, which happened in my case. Or you can equip a weapon in your offhand. But know that offhand equipment, it's gonna take away the skills of the weapon and yada yada yada. You're basically automatically attacking and whatnot. The damage is diminished greatly, and I feel like that's gonna it's not gonna be easy during boss fights or mini bosses. So yeah, I think you're kind of stuck. Reinstalling, deleting the game and installing it back doesn't help either. I think something in the log of the save that gets corrupted. Also, there's a bug when a lot of times you cannot target the enemies. Yeah, I know. You need to target them, otherwise you can't really fight them. The workaround is to keep spamming the button, changing the angle of the camera, and after a couple of seconds it will work. It doesn't happen always, but it will, and it will get you killed eventually. It's frustrating. The list goes on and on. Not all bugs are that important. There's lots of times when you will get stuck in textures in the map. If you jump from a high place, you'll get stuck between the map. If you want to traverse a doorway, you're going to get stuck in the textures of that door. There's something about no collision or something like that that just, I don't know what it is. Alt F4 or exiting the game, and then you have to re-enter to fix it. Again, a bit frustrating. The list is quite big. We also had a bug when we killed the first boss, but he wasn't dead. We had to kill him again. What can I say? But because of the entire campaign can be played in co-op, it really makes a unique world here. I mean, what they've done is quite superb. Storytelling, like I said, never seen before anything like it. It's gripping, it feels like it's important, and it doesn't waste any time. There's a metaphor going between the 2D aspect and the 3D aspect, which I think it's brilliant, whoever came up with that idea. Excellent performance, by the way. I was able to play this roughly around 150 frames. This could feel like a 10 out of 10 for sure. And it's probably one of the best co-op games that I've ever played, if not the best co-op game, or at least one of them in 2022. Yeah, I know there's Elden Ring, but this makes co-op much more easier, much more fun, because not everybody want to play that tediously hard game that's Elden Ring. Not everyone is cut out for it. This is much more friendly to, regular gamers. Folks that don't spend hundreds of hours grinding stuff. Can't hide the fact that The Last Hero of Nostalgaia needs more polishing. And because there's actually a game-breaking bug, I just can't recommend the game right now. As much as I would like to praise it, and I did, put yourself in my shoes. What do you do if you purchase the game and in 5 minutes in gameplay you realize you can't continue, right? You could keep it on your wish list or straight up buy it, risk yourself if you have a friend, and why not? Just close your eyes and go for it. The option is yours, but just keep in mind and remember this game, because I feel like in time this could be absolutely great. The Last Hero of Nostalgaia, the last game that I played in 2022. I'm actually making this video on the 1st of January. Not just another Souls game. No, it wouldn't be fair to call it that. This is a unique take on the genre itself. Consider it like a great adventure that you can play alongside with your best friend. My name is Rocashu. Thank you for watching. All my videos, all the stuff that I put out means a lot to me, and I wish for a peaceful new year.
Though I do not recognize your story, I do know your make. You are one of them. Yet also, somehow, less than them. And I suspect, in some way, even less than me. Forgive my staring. I mean, none of this is an insult. Your peculiarity may be the thing that saves you from their fate. I wish you well on your quest, so long as it is true. Should you falter, I will kill you.